From the historic desk. The audacity of the Andes. How a bunch of Incan nerds accidentally invented corporate hell. The Khipu Kamayuqs came to count llamas. They stayed to itemize your soul. History, you miserable bastards, isn't written by winners. It's written by the people with the best filing system. And in the 15th century Inca Empire, the filing was getting foobar. Imagine your Chuki Pala, a mid-level Khipu Kamayuq, an accountant priest bureaucrat, because the Inca loved a good 3-for-1 deal. Your job is tracking the imperial llama wool tax for the Sapa Inca, who is both your king and a literal god. No pressure. Every day, it's a parade of knotted strings called quipus. A yellow string for corn, a red string for soldiers, and a bewildering rainbow of chaos for every damned fluffball sheared from a camelid's back. The problem? Nothing ever balanced. You had a quipu for wool collected and another for wool used, and at the end of the fiscal year, they looked about as related as second cousins at a drunken family reunion. Discrepancies meant a one-way trip to the nearest cliff. Then along came Pacha What's-His-Name. Sources are hazy, probably because he was the most boring man alive, a senior auditor from Cusco with a permanent scowl and a revolutionary idea born of pure sphincter-clenching terror. He was staring at 2 quipus one night, one showing 1,000 kilos of prime alpaca fleece coming in from a provincial garrison, the other showing 0 kilos going out to the state weavers. Instead of just noting the fuck-up and preparing his last will and testament, he got angry. In a fit of proto-corporate passive aggression, he tied the 2 quipus together. For the knot representing the incoming wool, an asset, he created a perfectly mirrored, corresponding knot on another string representing its origin, a liability from the provinces. Every debit now had a credit. Every knot had an anti-knot. It was the birth of double-entry bookkeeping, and it was a goddamn nightmare. At first, his colleagues thought he'd been chewing the wrong kind of leaves. His grand quipu of ultimate balance was a 30-pound, multicolored monstrosity that looked like a clown had exploded in a spaghetti factory. But the math, sweet, merciful Inti, the math worked. Suddenly, the Inca Empire could track every single damn thread from the llama's ass to the emperor's poncho. Their already terrifyingly efficient command economy went into overdrive. They could calculate depreciation on suspension bridges. They could project future potato yields with enough accuracy to make a modern hedge fund manager weep. The empire wasn't just an empire anymore. It was a perfectly audited, vertically integrated, soul-crushingly efficient multinational corporation with its own armed enforcement division. So, when Francisco Pizarro rocked up in 1532 with his 168 steel-plated thugs, expecting to bamboozle a king and ransack a civilization, he didn't find a fractious empire ripe for the plucking. He found the accounting department. Atahualpa didn't just offer a roomful of gold. He presented the Spanish with a full prospectus, including a 30-day floating average of the spot price of gold, a detailed analysis of mining overhead, and a proposed payment plan in tax-deductible installments. Pizarro had come for loot and glory. He was met with audits, quarterly reports, and endless notarized quipus explaining exactly why his proposed hostile takeover was fiscally irresponsible. The conquest ground to a halt, not in a clash of arms, but in the stone-walled corridors of the Inca Department of Treasury, where the conquistadors' dreams of wealth died a slow, agonizing death by 1,000 string cuts. Filed by Cassandra Cassie Vexley for Historic. And that concludes today's broadcast. If this dispatch has left you itching to rewrite history yourself, visit historic.com. The editors are standing by. The ink is still wet, and the phonograph horn has been known to favor a newcomer.